Hello, my wonderful queer viewers, or otherwise, and welcome back to another episode of Seasonal Gay Anime Spotlight, the show where I look at the queer characters of each season of anime and talk about them as they are in the first 3 to 4 weeks of the spring season. I'm excited to talk about the big queer anime of the season, so let's stop the introductions and get right to it. So far, there's only one anime this spring season that has queer characters and elements in them, so I'll be spending the most part of this segment talking about it. So what anime is currently the only anime of the spring season of 2019 to have queer characters and elements? Why, of course, Kunihiko Ikuhara's next batshit insane anime, Serazan Mai, and the specific characters being Kazuki, Enta, Leo, and Mabu. Oh, Ikuhara, you crazy, crazy son of a bitch! Just to let you guys know, I'm not going to go into a whole analytical spiel about Serazan Mai. I'm going to save that for a huge video later in the year after the anime is done. But I will be talking briefly about the queer characters and elements of things that I've seen so far in the first 3 episodes. We'll start off with my main character, Kazuki, who is a male crossdresser.
In the first episode, we learned that Kazuki crossdresses, or maybe crossplays is the better phrase, as the idol Sarah, who serves as our Greek chorus for this Ikuhara anime. He says he does this so that he can stay connected to someone named Haruka Appa. We later learn that this person is actually Haruka, Kazuki's younger brother, who is obsessed with Sarah. Kazuki, pretending to be Sarah, takes selfie pictures of Sarah's lucky item for the day and sends them to Haruka, while also texting regularly with Haruka, still pretending to be Sarah. Because of this, I question if Kazuki actually likes cross-dressing, or if he's just doing this to make his younger brother happy. A younger brother who happens to be unable to walk and frequently stays at the hospital, which is why I called what Kazuki is doing as cosplay, but cross-dressing. It'll have to be seen if Kazuki's cross-dressing goes beyond just making his younger brother happy. But nevertheless, Enta and Toei treat learning about Kazuki's cross-dressing with a small surprise at first, but ultimately don't make fun of Kazuki because of it. One of Serazan Mai's themes is that it isn't healthy to keep your secrets and desires trapped in a box. Only by being true to yourself and connecting with others can you grow up to be a healthy person. So when Enta and Toei learn about Kazuki's cross-dressing at the end of the first episode, he lashes out at them.
Another reason that Kazuki might be cross-dressing as Sarah to remain close to Haruka is because from what I know in Japanese society, when young boys start to grow up, it looks weird if they're still attached to their younger siblings. Kazuki is entering middle school, so it might be frowned upon to still be attached to Haruka. The opposite is true for young girls growing up still being close to their younger siblings. That's not frowned upon, so that might be why Kazuki pretends to be a girl to remain close to his younger brother.
Haruka also might be someone who may or may not be queer, at least in his expression as opposed to what Japanese society sees young boys as. First of all, Haruka is a mainly female Japanese name. Haruka has long hair that he keeps up in a ponytail and he likes girly things like idols.
I wouldn't be surprised if we learn more about Haruka in regards to his gender identity or how he likes to express himself in the episodes to come. Next up is other main character, Enta, Kazuki's childhood friend. In the 3rd episode, we learn that Enta has a huge crush on Kazuki.
They played soccer together, referred to by others as the Golden Duo, but Kazuki quit the soccer team for unknown reasons, probably something to do with Haruka's hospitalization. Talking with Haruka, Enta is determined to give Kazuki back his soccer foot bracelet so that they can become the Golden Duo again. Like with Kazuki, Enta's secret crush is revealed to the other boys, but they don't treat him harshly or make fun of him because of it. Kazuki even, being one of the most densest boys that I've ever seen, believes that Enta did the things he did because the soccer team dared him to do it.
What are these things exactly?
Well, Enta once sniffed Kazuki's soccer clothes, he blew on Kazuki's school recorder for an indirect kiss, and actually did kiss Kazuki when he was asleep dressed as Sarah.
It's kinda creepy, but somewhat relatable. Viewers seem to forget that our 3 main boys are middle schoolers, and in Enta's case, is too young to correctly process these feelings that he has for his male childhood friend.
Not to mention that Japanese society heavily rejects the kind of feelings that Enta has, so Enta does what he can. Yes, the sniffing is creepy, and no one should ever kiss someone else when they're asleep, but I'd be lying if I said that Enta's actions weren't realistic for a boy his age. He's a young boy who is starting to grow up, and he has these strange feelings, with no way to process them or talk to someone about it. And lastly is Rio and Mabu, who have interesting reasons for their existence behind the scenes and their backstory yet to be revealed in the anime.
One of the reasons that Ikuhara has mostly exclusively done gay women representation in Revolutionary Guard Utena, Penguin Drum, and Yurikuma Arashi is because in Japan, it's harder to pitch an anime that isn't exclusively yaoi or BL geared towards straight women that has a gay male representation that is geared towards anyone. Lesbianism in anime is more marketable to pitch to producers for a more wide range audience than gay male love and its specific but very vocal fanbase.
That can be a reason that Ikuhara has said, but some speculate that Ikuhara has a lower opinion of men in general. And when taking characters like Akio, Shionji, and Toga from Utena into account, Ikuhara seems to have an affection to queer masculine villainy. Now, I'm not saying that Ryo and Mabu are bad representations for gay men from these first 3 episodes alone, but sometimes Ikuhara can't let go of his tropes even when he is finally tackling queer men.
Now, there is a prequel spin-off manga to Serazanmai, and to explain it briefly, as I mostly want to focus on the 2 in the anime, it's more of a slice-of-life type story centered around Ryo and Mabu. They find Sarah abandoned as a baby and decide to take care of her together. But not for long, as Sarah seems to grow up into her current self pretty quickly and leaves her 2 fathers, thanking them for taking such good care of her. Now, the manga ends with us questioning if Sarah suddenly growing up and leaving was all a dream or not, or if this entire manga has been some part of a dream. What the spin-off manga establishes, though, that the anime hasn't done yet, is that Ryo and Mabu are in a relationship together. Though, to be fair, the anime does say it in its very explicit visuals, just not in its dialogue, like with Enta.
But now let's get to that anime itself, because man are Ryo and Mabu fucking gay in the anime. Again though, not in the dialogue like Enta. We haven't really learned that much about the 2 as of yet, but they are police partners working in a police box in the city. They seem to kidnap bad people with weird and inhuman desires. They kill them either literally or through revealing the criminal's desires and secrets on social media. They extract the person's desire, which turns them into a big monster version of these desires. They seem to be working for an otter organization, who seem to be opposing Prince Kippa, the Kappa who is turning our boys into Kappas in order for them to defeat the monster each episode.
So whether or not Ryo and Mabu are truly evil, or working for this organization for unknown reasons, or are being manipulated by them, and what this evil otter organization's true goal is, has yet to be seen. But man, oh man, if they aren't my daddies, I don't know who is.
But I can't end this discussion without talking just a little bit about Ryo and Mabu's dance that they do before they turn the criminal into a giant monster. At a police meeting for said criminal, they start their choreographed dance and song, perform on a giant and extravagant stage while also striking sexy and intimate poses with each other. It ends with Mabu ripping Ryo's shirt off, grabbing his heart, which seems to have some kind of mechanism in it, and rips it out. This entire dance sequence and song is so over the top, it's fucking fantastic. I don't know if any of it means yet or how this whole rigmarole turns the criminals into a giant monster, but I don't care. It's something that I look forward to each and every episode. God, I love my anime dads.
So with Kazuki, Enta, Ryo, and Mabu, plus other queer elements that I talked about, Serazanmai looks like it's gonna be another Ikuhara anime tackling different queer issues with his characters. Except this time, instead of Yuri, it's Yaoi. Though how all these queer characters and elements will be by the end of the anime has yet to be seen. Will it end with victory like Revolutionary Girl Utena and Yuri Kuma Arashi, or will it end in failure like with Penguin Drum? I, for one, am really hoping for the former. Now let's move on to our next segment, Recap of Last Season. The part of the show where I look at the queer anime of last season and talk about whether their characters ended nicely or badly. But that does mean that there are spoilers ahead. You've been warned. First, let's start with Sayaka and Kirai from Kakegururi Compulsive Gambler Season 2. We got the Tower Gamble! Yeah!
Like I talked about briefly in the last episode of Seasonal Gay Anime Spotlight, Sayaka, fed up with Yumiko's antics and jealous at Kirai's increasing interest in her, challenges Yumiko to a gamble. This being at a tower that Kirai had built just for such an occasion. The bet is that if Yumiko loses, she will never be able to gamble again. But if Sayaka loses, she'll no longer be the secretary to the student council, and will no longer be able to be close to Kirai. But Kirai wants to up the stakes. Even if Sayaka stops being her secretary, Sayaka could eventually become close to Kirai again, so that if Sayaka were to lose and be forced to be a nobody to Kirai, she has to jump off at the top of the tower. As the gamble goes on, we learn why exactly that Sayaka fell in love with Kirai. Because Kirai is the complete opposite of her, irrational, always playing the wild card, and always looks at the big picture. Sayaka wishes she could be more like Kirai. Sayaka loses the duel, accepts her fate, and jumps off the tower, only to be surprised when Kirai jumps off after her. And when they hit the bottom, Sayaka realizes that the ground around the tower has a special fabric that greatly softens the fall. It is here that we learn about Kianai's feelings for Sayaka. She likes Sayaka because she is the complete opposite of her. Rational, always thinking about what's ahead, and has her eye on the goal and what she needs to do. Kianai is fascinated by Sayaka, and has started to fall for Sayaka as well. Even though Sayaka lost a gamble, Kianai asks her again if she would like to be her secretary. Sayaka tearfully agrees, kissing her hand to signify the partnership that the two share. I always love couples who are complete opposites of each other, just makes them more interesting. And what's great about the Tower Gamble two-parter is that we also get clarification on Kianai's feelings towards Sayaka.
Kakegurui is full of Yuri teas, the original manga author being a big fan of Yuri, but it's nice to get confirmation on at least one of the female parents. Next up is Princess Rona from Endro. Endro is an anime that sometimes likes to break expectations and conventions, making it just a little bit of cut above the rest. And one of these things is having Princess Rona be in love with the main character, Yusha.
From when she was young, Rona loved reading the stories of past heroes and their many adventures. This caused her to fall in love with the concept of the hero, swearing to marry the new hero that will be born to defeat the Demon Lord. However, she is surprised when she finds out that the hero this time around is a girl. This only makes her pause for a second though, as Rona is in love with the concept of the hero, so she is in love with Yusha, confessing her love and telling Yusha that she'll change the law so that two girls can get married. It's only later that Rona would learn something important about Yusha. Yusha isn't who she is because she's the hero because of who she is. This causing Rona to fall in love with Yusha herself, and not just because she's the hero, spending the rest of the series getting close to not only the other main characters, but Yusha as well. Something that I like about this love is that Yusha and the others aren't dismissive of Rona because of this same-sex love. No matter what, they want Rona to be friends with them, and Rona is just freaking adorable, growing as each episode she's in goes on. The only negative that I have is that this love doesn't really go anywhere by the end of the anime, as well as Yusha not returning Rona's love in any way beyond friendship. Rona still adores Yusha romantically, but that's about it.
But I'll admit that this revelation in episode 5 really took me by surprise. And even though the anime doesn't take this concept any further, Rona was a cute princess, in love with her female hero. Next up is, Kirimi, Abigail, and Zakurin from Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. Okay, so, Kirimi is 100% a predatory lesbian, and especially a psycho lesbian. And that is bad and stereotypical, but she's kind of the most complex character in the entire anime, as most of the characters here are bland and don't have that much personality to them.
As the anime goes on, we learn that Kirimi was heavily bullied in middle school. Like, holy shit, these kids are psychotic type of bullying. Even back then, Kirimi fantasizes of having the powers of a magical girl so that she can kill anyone who's ever bullied her. Asuka saves her from this world and they join a magical group together. In the present, after Kirimi forces her way back into Asuka's life and gets her to become a government-issued magical girl again, she does her best to always be by Asuka's side, hating it whenever Asuka spends time alone with another girl. She also always has Asuka's happiness in mind, volunteering to brutally torture the illegal magical girls that they capture in order for Asuka to not have to dive into this part of the war. Between her being a big victim of some pretty cruel bullying in the past and her intense and obsessive love for Asuka, the girl who saved her, Kirimi is both a predatory and psycho lesbian, while also being the most complex in the entire anime.
So it's sort of your pick your poison sort of scenario. She's bad queer representation, but that's also the only thing that makes her interesting at all.
There's also the illegal magical girl Abigail and her master, the main antagonist, the Queen.
Who is totally not the character who died in the flashback no way, no how.
Abigail is obsessed with her master and does evil in order for the Queen to like her, with the Queen punishing and torturing Abigail when she fails a mission. Though in the last episode we see the two of them engaging in sexual activities.
Magical Girl Specs Ops Asuka is a lot. It's a bad anime that has a couple of interesting things to say about PTSD and the over-reliance on young magical girls to fight wars, but negates this with its heavy fan service and torture porn of underage characters. And its queer representation is a big eye roll as well. And lastly, I think that this is what they're implying, Kakuru from Run with the Wind.
In episode 22, right before his part of the running, Kakuru confesses to Jonji that he is in love with someone. But before Joji can question him, Kakuru starts running, and through inner monologuing, Kakuru says that what he loves is running. However, in the next and last episode, episode 23, Kakuru has a more literal take about who he is in love with. He flashes back to when Haji, the leader of the running team, had asked Kakuru, "What is running to you?" Kakuru's answer is Haji. Haji is running. So if Kakeru loves running, then he loves Haji. This seems to suggest an intense and maybe even romantic connection between the two.
Nothing is 100% clarified, it's all inferred on how you interpret the dialogue, though it should be said that the original novel's author has written numerous scholarly articles about BL. Run with the Wind is not BL or Yaoi series, but the ending allows his interpretation up to the audience. Run with the Wind not being the first sports anime to attempt to skirt this line. So, based on your interpretation on Kakeru's inner monologuing in the last 2 episodes, he might just be as in love with Hanji as he is with running. And now we've reached our last segment of the show, Shadow's Heterosexual Pick. The part of the show where I pick an anime that may not have any queer characters in it, but is still pretty good. And this season's pick is Karen Tuesday. At least for now, crossing my fingers. A combination of 2 beautiful things. My favorite anime studio, Studio Bones, and the legendary director Shinichiro Watanabe, known for a couple of classic anime like Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Kids on the Slope, Space Dandy, and Terra in Residence. And if Karen Tuesday, much like with some of the other anime that I just listed, confirms something about Watanabe, is that the man loves him some music.
The story of a rich feminine girl who plays the guitar and a tomboyish girl who plays the piano. Their fated encounter brings the 2 of them together as they create music and work hard to make it to the big times. The animation is so atmospheric and pretty. I don't know how Studio Bones does it, but they never cease to surprise me with their shows in terms of their animation. Everything is so detailed and purposely put. The particular animation on Carol strumming her guitar and Tuesday pressing her fingers on the keyboard just sucks the viewer in each time. Our main duo of Carol and Tuesday are instantly likable characters, with hidden sides of them to make them each individually complex. The bond that they share is the most engaging and well written, and if these scenes don't give you butch and femme lesbian feels, I don't know what will.
Not to mention that the real life Instagram that you can actually go online and view right this second, it's so goddamn cute, posting a picture each week that is a shot from the current episode with a cute description from either Carol or Tuesday.
The minor characters are fun and interesting as well. Angela looks like is being set up as a rival to Carol and Tuesday. She's a child actress who's being used by the AI producer Tao in order to create the perfect song. Gus is Carol and Tuesday's self-proclaimed manager and producer. Roddy is a tech guy who filmed a performance of the girls and put it online, starting the public awareness of our female musicians. There's also Ertegun, a famous DJ who is just the worst. Perfect example of egotistical masculinity when a man has too much power. But Carol sets his rudeness straight when she starts a fire in his house and turns on the sprinkler system, soaking his house almost completely.
But of course, the best part of each Karen Tuesday episode is the music. This including both the background music and the insert songs sung by our 2 main characters. And since this is a Watanabe anime, the songs are sung in great English.
Each of the 3 episodes that I've seen so far has its own insert song. Episode 1 had a small version of the song The Loneliest Girl, Episode 2 had the finished version of the song, while Episode 3 featured a new song, Round and Laundry. These insert songs are well written, well sung, and have great beats and rhythms to them. This is true for the anime's opening and ending theme as well, and they're sung by the main characters as well, which is always a nice touch. And to end off talking about Watanabe's love for music, each episode so far has been named after a famous song, just like in Cowboy Bebop.
In the end, Karen Tuesday is looking to be a fun and enjoyable anime this spring season, and later growing out into the summer season. The characters are great, the animation is great, the story is great, and the music is especially great. It's just a great anime, and I can't wait to see more of it. So, that's the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like and comment anything that you might want to say, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Catch you later.